welcome to this new video for my channel, The Mental Traveler. I'm Caro Herrera, and today I'm going to be reviewing different adaptations of the life of Empress Elizabeth of Austria. I'm going to be talking about the 1950s trilogy with the beautiful Romy Schneider, as well as the 2009 adaptation with Cristina Capotondi. Also, before I begin, let me just say that unless you don't want to know anything about this real-life historical figure, beware watching any further. Short be on Empress Sissi's life, but believe me, there are 100 more things about her, from her idyllic childhood, her shocking betrothal to her sister's fiancé, to her clashes with her controlling mother-in-law/aunt, her role as a mother and as an empress, as a wife, her eccentricities later in her life, and finally her tragic death. Also, the 50s trilogy and the 2009 adaptation cover the same time periods, so there is not much difference between them. Believe me, there are 100 more things about Empress Sissi's life, but these are just some of the highlights. I give the 50s trilogy a 5 out of 5 stars review because they are just beautiful masterpieces, and while they may not be that historically accurate, they are so well done and such a great intro to children to this empress that I adore them. Romy Schneider did a wonderful job as a naive, precious young Sissi, and I want to say that Romy actually got to play Sissi a fourth time because in 1973 in the film Ludwig, she appears as Sissi again, and it's fascinating to see it because you get to see this new take on Sissi, that of a mature, more jaded woman, which Romy pulls off very well because she had already been through a lot in her personal life by that time. As to the 2009 version, I give it a 4 out of 5 stars review because it was quite lovely, and the main actress did a great job of portraying Sissi in different ways during the first years of her marriage. So I would actually recommend you watch both adaptations, and rather than compare and contrast them, just enjoy seeing them both. Finally, I also want to mention that Ava Gardner once played Sissi. It was in the movie Majorling, where Omar Sharif played her son, Crown Prince Rudolph, and that is a pretty great epic drama as well. I was first introduced to this Empress through the 50s trilogy, and I have memories of watching it with my family and friends and really loving it. Many don't like it because it's a more of a fairy tale take on her story. It's not 100% a faithful historical adaptation, but I think that it's just part of their everlasting charm, how fairy story they're like. And I rewatched this film several times as an adult, and I still really like them very much. Still, while I am a royalist who's totally obsessed with the Romanovs and the British royal family, I've never been that into the Habsburgs, and I've never really cared that much for Sissi, even though there is a strong link between her and my country because her brother-in-law Maximilian was actually the Emperor of Mexico for a short time. But my forebears, unfortunately, and to my eternal regret and shame, killed him. Anyway, since I was never into her life, I wasn't sure exactly what was true and what was not when I was watching the Romy Schneider films, but my mom had once told me that her husband had been a playboy, and so I had lost interest in them. That all changed though back in November 2021 when I was listening to the episodes that the History Chick podcast made about Empress Sissi and her life. It's like over 2 hours long, but it was so interesting and fascinating the way they told her story, and I learned so much about her, and it's really stuck with me weeks after that. And I was very pleasantly surprised to learn that Franz Joseph wasn't that much of a playboy. He was in fact obsessed with Sissi. She was the one that wasn't that much into marriage life and would just like disappear for long periods of time, and she would actually tell one of her friends, "Look after my husband, I don't want him to get bored and I don't want to be there for him, so look after him," and sort of things like that. So she really surprised me. I still don't really love her that much, but she definitely was an interesting, fascinating woman. That's why I watched the other more recent version on her life, and I really like that one as well. For the moment, I believe that this is all I have to say for this video, but Netflix is making a new Sissi series, which will be released hopefully in the near future. So when that comes out, I'll watch it and review it. Also, there are several biographies and historical fiction novels on her life, which I hope to read one day and review too. But yeah, until then, this is all I have to say about Empress Sissi and the adaptations of her life. Please let me know if you liked the video or not. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that you did. Thank you so much for watching it, and in the description box below you can find a link to the movies and shows IMDb pages. And well, I'm Caro Herrera, the Mental Traveler, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you're in the world. I'll be seeing you soon. Take care and goodbye!